Today I talk about esport coaching, training your friends, and keeping a positive mental state. Welcome to Mind Games TV, episode 58. Pretty excited about today. It's the second day back on my regular schedule. Big day. I've got a splice workshop today, and I went for a run instead of doing yoga this morning, which was a nice change of pace, except that I had to run uphill in the snow pushing a stroller. So that was tiresome. Fasting is still going well, still not eating till about 1 p.m. So I'm fasting all morning, and I really like this diet. I feel like it's a nice way to lean out without giving up ice cream. Although I know I shouldn't eat sugar, but I don't know if I can give up ice cream completely. Anyway, I'll try to cheat only on the weekends. All right. Okay, so let's get into the show.
Raphael asks, how do I make myself noticed in the esports scene as a coach? Or how do I improve enough so I get noticed?
I think Raphael is already working with a challenger team or an academy team as a analyst or helper. So I think that basically you're already doing a pretty good job. You're putting yourself out there. I think the number one way to do something is to start doing it. Find anybody, any way, anything that you can do to start doing it. It doesn't matter if you're coaching a single person through a website like lolcoaching.com, lol-coaching.com. It doesn't matter if you're coaching a team of friends. Whatever you're doing, it's building your resume. So if you want to get noticed, you need to start building a body of work. And if you want to build a resume and get references and get chances to fail and succeed and learn, you need to start doing. So that's the first step, is just getting into the trenches and getting muddy. Then there's a question of education. Can you educate yourself and then also experience? So I really want people to see it as two modes. You can enter a learning mode and you can learn, and that's fine and it's good. But at some point you have to do. You cannot just get this kind of stuff from a textbook. So I recommend figuring out if you're still in the absorption mode and you're trying to absorb stuff, or if you're ready to kind of jump out there. And my recommendation is that you're probably, if you think you're not ready, you might actually be. So you're ready a little bit before you think you're actually ready. Or depending on your level of fear and anxiety, you're ready way before. So try it out, test it. Okay, now let's say that you're already getting into the challenger scene, you're already getting into the amateur scene as a coach, to start scaling up. So I think one of the best ways to get noticed right now nowadays is social media in esport. Social media, esport is so small, and the amount of people that produce valuable content is so few right now that you can really get noticed by joining in the conversation. If you just go on Twitter, which is where pretty much the entire professional esport world hangs out, and you find all of the people who are in the places that you want to be, doing the things you want to do, and you just start engaging in conversation and providing value whenever you can essentially kind of work your way into that ecosystem or that sphere. And the other good thing you can do is start producing content. I started producing blogs and just writing my stuff down, and they sucked, and they got better and better. And by the time that people started noticing them, they were much better. Then I started producing this show. The first 17 episodes I think are junk. But then it started getting better and better, and I started kind of understanding the content I was making. So producing content around coaching or around analyzing the game or around ideas and putting it out there is a really good test of how good you are. Let's say you have an idea about something in League of Legends or CSGO in terms of tactics, and you make a video, you put it out there, and a bunch of people are going to say this is bullcrap, and other people are going to say, wow, this is so great, thanks for teaching me that. And you will learn whether or not your ideas have merit, and you might actually learn that you're really smart. and that you've really figured out some aspect of the game. Or you might figure out that you're not quite on the level that you want to be, and so you'll start pushing yourself and you'll be really motivated to even learn more. So I'm a big fan of producing content and just getting your knowledge like out in the open so that people can judge it and so that you can get self-efficacy about it, or you can realize like where you are and kind of start building on it. And that's really what happened to me as a consultant. Like I didn't know if I was any good, so I just started putting out content. I started consulting with people, and then I found out that I was. And yeah, so that was a good experience. But then I had an experience recently where I got a lot of great feedback and found out I could still keep improving, and that's really motivating as well. So I hope that answers the question. I kind of went theoretical and practical there, and dodged all around the place. But I think that you can glean something out of there, Raphael, and keep pushing yourself. One other thing I recommend is to come up with a home base and a distribution channel. You have to choose to make video, audio, or writing. Those are the only three ways you can produce medium on the internet. So I guess you can do infographics and pictures too, like visual medium, and that's pretty cool. So pick one of those and just do that one. Just do video, just do audio, just do writing, just do like visual graphics or something like that. And just keep producing it and getting better and better at it. If you stick to a single kind of distribution, it'll really help. And then make sure that you have a home base. So like, don't just go and throw your stuff on Reddit. That doesn't make a lot of sense because you're just helping Reddit. Don't go throw it on Instagram because you're just helping Instagram. Go get a free website that's hosted, that you control, put it on there, and it'll start building a portfolio. Eventually, that might come in handy, and you'll be, at least in the meanwhile, like building up your own kind of platform. So you can still go post it over on social. You can post it on Reddit. You can post it on Instagram, but have a home base. Don't put it native on other people's platforms or other companies' platforms, because that's exactly what they want, and you're just helping them. You're not helping yourself so much.
Mahal asks, how can I try and help my support improve?
This is a really good question. By the way, for those of you who don't play League of Legends, support is the duo bottom lane. So two people together in a duo lane, both striving together to beat the other two people in the lane. And one person is AD carry, attack damage carry, usually ranged, and the other person is a support player, usually plays a champion whose abilities scale well and doesn't need items as much to do their job. So how do you make your support better? Basically, when I read the notes to your question, you said that game knowledge is holding you guys back, is holding your support back and making bad decisions. So when I want somebody who's close to me, somebody who's important to me, and we have a good relationship, when I want them to improve, and it requires from them work and focus and learning and sacrifice, what I do is I try to show them that I am also sacrificing. So for example, if I want my son to pick up the toys around the house, I join him and I say, let's pick up the toys, and I help him pick up the toys. I don't just say, pick up the toys, or I'm going to, spank you, and then I run off and like get on the internet. And if I ask, if I want my wife to make more dinners around the house or something like that, I jump in and make dinners for a week. Like last week, Mediterranean food. We had Mediterranean food all week. And then, we trade off. So I sacrifice as well. So one of the better ways to help people improve is to get joint coaching. Like, be like, hey, let's do this coaching thing together. Let's go to lol-coaching.com. I referenced this a little bit earlier. And let's both sign up for lessons, and let's do the lessons together. Or let's do them apart. If you do them together, you have the advantage that you can say things and kind of earn the respect of your support player by showing that you have a really good grasp on the knowledge base of what's going on, and he can listen to you as well and get coached from you as well. And if you do coaching together, you also kind of get to see how the coach operates on your partner, on your support player, and you get to kind of start stealing tricks from him. And you also get to see how the coach operates on you, so you get to think like, oh, how did he motivate me? How did he change my mind? How did he teach me something? And what you'll learn is that knowledge is not the same as teaching. So you're giving somebody knowledge, it's great. Like if Monte Cristo who's an analyst caster in Korea. Like, if knowledge equaled the ability to do the thing, then he would be a really high ranked player. But habits and motor skills and reflexes are different from knowing the thing. So when you're trying to help your support improve in their game decisions, those game decisions are usually part of a habitual decisions and pattern recognition. So the way that you change it is not by giving more information and more knowledge. The way that you change it is through a process of behavior change. And you can learn that process by watching a coach change somebody's behavior. And just in case you already want to jump into this yourself, the first thing that you need to do is bring people to an awareness that what they're doing is wrong, which you're probably already doing. You're probably saying like, hey, you're doing that and that's wrong. Okay, great. First step taken care of. That's just the first step. Then they actually need to try to figure out how to, in the moment, remember to do the new thing instead of the old thing. And that's much harder because that's an internal process. I can't count the number of times that I say like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool if I had this new habit, and then I'm like going along in my day, and at the end of the day I think, oh yeah, I didn't do that at all, did I? Even though I really wanted to and I knew it was the better thing. And you do this a lot too. So this could be the situation your friend's in. And the way that you help them through that gap is usually not by smacking them every time they screw up. Okay, the way that you usually help them with that gap is pointing out the times they do remember. So you get that first hump where they remember the first time, and then you start promoting that. So that's what I recommend to get started.
Justin asks, what are some methods to keeping a positive state when playing video games in a competitive fashion?
I like this question a lot. We're getting into sports psychology here, so this is really good. Let me think about that. What are some methods to keep a positive state when playing video games in a competitive fashion? Okay. There's two sources if you think of motivation as a line with two ends, a balance that goes like this. You could say that people are motivated by mastery or by competition. So if you're motivated by competition, you're motivated by beating other people or by being better than somebody else. So when there's nobody else there, you are unmotivated. But when somebody's running and they're just like right in front of you and you're jogging behind them, you're like kind of motivated to overtake them. And a lot of people are motivated by this in a game, and that's why the ladder system tries to put people right next to each other. So you have somebody who you're motivated to beat because they're just right at your level. Other people are motivated by mastery. Mastery is just the desire to be better at the end of the day than when you woke up. So beating yourself. So it doesn't matter who's around you, you're operating on your own kind of timeline. So if you win 8 games in a day, but you get progressively worse, you're not happy because you're like, I just kept playing worse and worse. And you might notice that you are actually motivated by both of these things. Most people are. These are both, like, you can think of in terms of scales, like motivated by competition, motivated by mastery. And champions are motivated really highly by both aspects. I myself am maybe skewed a little bit toward mastery, but I have plenty of competition. So I can't stand it if I'm winning a game, but like I'm not playing well. A lot of people can empathize with that. Also, I can't stand it if I'm playing well and not winning. So I'm motivated by competition, but that is more palatable to me. That's more enjoyable to me to like be playing well and not winning than to be winning a game and not playing well. Okay, so how do you keep a positive state? First of all, understand like what drives you, like why it is that you're playing League of Legends or this video game or CSGO or whatever, and why you're competing. Why have you chosen this esport as a way of expressing your competitive drive instead of football or mobile games or whatever it is, piano, I don't know. And if it's something about the team aspect, if it's something about the fact that it's something you feel like you can be good at and you want to compete there, then the next thing to do is to try to look at your growth and get in touch with that value. So whatever value that's driving you to train and get better and compete, tap into that value and try to make that the path, make that the journey. The journey is not like winning and gaining rank. The journey is like, how can I every day live out the value of being a competitive person and striving to win or striving to be better than I was when I woke up? What can I do to tackle that. And you can find all sorts of things outside the game that boost that. So when I have people who are too caught up about like what's going on in the game to keep a positive state, I try to get them to succeed in other areas of their life, like getting fit, eating better, doing goal setting, doing all sorts of like mental training outside the game, meditation, better, so that when they go into the game, you're already edified. You're already like you've already conquered something, and so even if you're losing, you can think, all right, I'm losing to this person now, or I'm losing my temper now, or I'm getting trolled now, but maybe tomorrow I'll be slightly better at that, and maybe the next day I'll be slightly better at that. So you want to see growth and progression, and you want to feel confident that you know how to improve. So it's a combination of knowledge building and experimentation with yourself. And I think that if you can't think of anything that you can improve, like in the game or in your fitness or in your nutrition, you need to go out and seek paradigms that are different. You need to seek other ways of doing it. You need to go Google on the internet, like, how can I improve my gamer nutrition, or how can I improve my flexibility, or how can I like make sure that when I'm sitting, I've got better blood flow so that I can think faster, or how much caffeine should I drink before a game, or at what point is it optimal to have a large meal before a gaming session, or what time in the day is the best time to play. I mean, you can ask so many different questions and really turn your gaming into a game itself. And then you can master that game. And then you can turn your life into a game, and then you can master that game. And then you're always winning and playing and trying to develop. And then it doesn't really matter what's happening like in the actual game, because your growth is like a long-term thing, and it's happening in every aspect of your life. So it's easier to conquer that moment of frustration in the game when you can be like, all right, well, I've finished that. I'm going to the next step, and it's going to be better tomorrow. And I think that's where we'll end. So thank you for the questions today. And I want to end with a quote that's a little bit related to the final question, how to keep a positive state even when you're down. And it's by a really cool boxer who invented his own boxing technique, Jack Dempsey. He says, "A champion is someone who gets up when he can't." Okay, see you guys later.